Thank you very much. And welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV with me, Len Bitopic. And this week we take a wild ride on a crazy horse that's stampeding through your privacy all over the world. Pegasus, a beast from old Greek mythology, is also a horse that's been trained at the technological stables of an Israeli company that goes by the name of NSO Group. This Pegasus does its tricks in the mysterious showground of the digital world. It's a military-grade spyware. And the good news is, if you're being spied on, it's free. That's because Pegasus can be secretly installed on your mobile phone and turns it into a wonderful 24-hour surveillance device. It can copy messages you send or receive, harvest your photographs, and record your calls. Yes, Pegasus can also secretly film you through your phone's camera or activate the microphone to record your conversations. This is fantastic news if you want to keep a diary, but you're too lazy to do it for yourself. For absolutely zero financial cost, Pegasus will record everything you do or say in public or private. You know the phrase, just Google it? Well, Pegasus is a kind of state-sponsored Google, but better. Can't remember what you did last summer? Just Pegasus it. Want to remember where you spent last Saturday night? Just Pegasus it. Want to know where your partner spent last Saturday night? That's right, just Pegasus it. No more guessing, because Pegasus gallops where Google fears to tread. What state, you may ask, has gone to all the expense of kindly providing such a reliable record of your whole life? It's the one place that really cares what you do all the time. That's right, step forward, the Israeli regime, the world's biographer. In my book, this does not make them the planet's most paranoid super snoopers. Though if you say that, they'll know. And it's a caring system, which is why it's secret. After all, how are you going to get on with your life if you know every single thing you do and say is being recorded in Tel Aviv? That kind of thinking would cause you to think twice about doing anything sensitive or personal, which would therefore lead directly to boring dinner party conversations, bad dates, and constipation. So I thank the Israeli Secret Service for coming up with such a discreet way of checking that you're being good. Much better to invade your phone than to invade your home. And it's cheaper, because with Pegasus, you don't need a bulldozer to get into your phone.
1,000 years ago, Israeli moles developed a bad spyware. The initial objective was to make a buck and have fun in retirement through listening in to people's phone calls. The spyware made all top-secret documents tabloid headlines. Under a historic agreement, Biden and Macron promised not to publish each other's secrets. It was then that Panasonic Corporation reopened its old production line of telephones. The world needed security, not smartphones, not scandals. Some politicians threw their mobile phones into the sea and revived the tradition of letter writing. Joe Biden wrote to Kim Jong-un that the U.S. would soon invade North Korea, but he passed away before his letter reached Pyongyang. Other politicians used pigeon posts to carry their letters, but that method was not as easy as it was in movies. Politicians asked the Israelis to destroy the spyware, but they were deaf to the pleas.
Tel Aviv had alternatives. Their new friends, the Saudis, have taken the rather more direct route of chopping up their enemies in consulates, which is messy and means taking a trip to Istanbul, where if the Israelis don't ruin your life, the traffic probably will. And let's face it, hacking a phone is a lot less hassle than hacking up a journalist. However, things got complicated when the Israelis sold Pegasus to other countries to track criminals and terrorists. Who bought it? Saudi Arabia, the godfather of terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and Daesh, followed by the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and a bunch of other regimes that might not have been buying into the spyware for the sake of world peace. Some say Saudi bought the spyware not to track other people's bad terrorists, but to track their own good terrorists and make sure that they accomplish their terrorist missions in the region. But then they became more creative in using it. It's been suggested that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman used the spyware as a test on Jeff Bezos' own mobile phone, then shared photos of Mr. Bezos' girlfriend with a National Enquirer, contributing to his costly divorce. If so, the photos cost Jeff Bezos billions, when he could simply have got the photos printed for a few dollars if he'd gone to Snappy Snaps. Who's next? Well, the French president has apparently now changed his mobile phone after it was reportedly infected with Pegasus too. As an old saying goes, you can change your smartphone, but you cannot change your past. Actually, that's not an old phrase, I just made that up. But you get the picture. Just like the National Enquirer. Incidentally, since then, Macron has apparently been in bed with a really high fever. We're not getting regular reports from his doctor, but maybe we can get an update on how he's doing from Tel Aviv. Incidentally, reports from the Saudi kingdom have revealed the Saudi royals are also swapping their luxurious smartphones for the good old-fashioned, hard-to-hack Nokia 1100. Presumably, they're just trying to save money. Not. Incidentally, Israel say that the Saudi kingdom is not misusing the spyware at all, though there's a clue in the name spyware. Still, this is reassuring. It means that killing Khashoggi, identifying Twitter users, arresting political dissidents, and executing human rights activists have all had absolutely nothing to do with the spyware at all. Now, Pegasus scandals dominate the headlines. The Israelis have said, blame our customers, not us, for all the hacking. Fair enough. After all, when the Israelis demolish Palestinian houses, no one blames the bulldozers. They just blame the Palestinians, who haven't got any spyware of their own to prove otherwise. But who's right on all this? Let's find out from an expert. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone is Saud Al-Qahtani, close advisor and friend to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, at least prior to his dismissal in the wake of the Khashoggi scandal. Mr. Qahtani, sorry to call you at such short notice.
Actually, I've been expecting your phone call.
Expecting my call? How did you know that we were going to call you?
Because we've been listening to your calls.
On that point, can you share with us how they're hacking mobile phones these days?
There is new spyware which automatically listens in on any journalist.
How does the software select who to track?
It doesn't. It just listens to everybody.
Everybody? With such sophisticated systems, how did the Khashoggi killing go so public?
Don't blame the software.
Okay, but you were watching the killing via Skype, weren't you?
The Crown Prince asked me to check how the Khashoggi thing turned out.
Yes, but how did it leak out?
I don't know. I haven't had time to listen in to the Crown Prince's...
You can do that as well.
No, at least don't tell him I said that.
I'm actually having trouble hearing you.
I'm using an old phone.
Is that so that you don't get hacked as well?
Hold on. Is anyone listening to our conversation?
Well, yes, this is being broadcast live all over the world.
Okay. So it's just like Pegasus then. No problem.
Who from?
Whom from?
Okay, bye-bye. That's all for this week. Join me again next time to find out who's spying on who, who's lying to who, and if anyone's figured out how to get a subscription for Pegasus on Netflix yet. That's all on Press TV with me, Lemon Topic, and Cats and Dogs.